Good afternoon, Caroline and Rolf, right? So, guys, if you can just please quickly introduce yourself.
I'm Caroline and I work at the Engineering Institute of Technology here in Australia.
And Caroline's in the Perth campus. My name is Rolf and I work for EIT in the Melbourne campus. And as you've just seen, we've got two campuses here in Australia with programs on offer.
Fantastic. Guys, the reason I wanted to do this video today is that there has been a lot of noise in the market about Australian providers cancelling COEs, getting admission into Australian institutes becoming very difficult. The High Commission for Australia, Department of Home Affairs, what kind of documentation needs to be submitted to them. India being downgraded to level 3. So I just wanted to understand from your perspective, now that India has been downgraded by Department of Home Affairs to level 3, what does it actually mean for an Indian student looking to study in Australia?
Okay, maybe if I just take the lead and have a quick chat there.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of speculation that Australia shut the door on Indian students. No, we haven't. Australia's got a huge investment in India with most of the universities, the TAFE colleges and the private providers like us having in-country managers. And if anything, we're now using our in-country managers much more. So the door hasn't been shut on India. What I think you've seen is a rebalancing of the India market. Department of Home Affairs does this on a regular basis, not only for India, but globally. In fact, some statistics in front of me at the moment. Indian National increased their lodgements by 52% for 2018-19. So that shows you a huge increase. However, supporting the increase, they also uncovered a huge issue with a lot of false documents, a lot of incorrect English language programs being set by students who weren't the proper student, etc., and a range of other areas. So the correction to level 3 was an outcome because of, I suppose, the abuse of the level 2 grading, which is streamlined, whereas level 3 is regular and means that you have to now put every document forward when you lodge your visa application. But moving to a level 3 is just an adjustment that I think it's come maybe a couple of semesters early because of the large increase in volume of applications, but also a lot of more fraud that was being put through. And I think that's a direct reflection on what's happened in Canada, where they sort of shut their doors for a little while. The UK, and especially with Brexit, where a lot of parents are now a little bit concerned about, would I send son or daughter over there with what's happening, because even the UK doesn't know what's going on. So they started to look at Australia as an option. However, a lot of, I suppose, agents who saw an opportunity there sent a lot of students that really shouldn't be looking at Australia. And therefore the visa refusal rate increased, but so did the visa approval rate. So we are seeing a lot of students, we actually saw an increase in our approvals, which was a good thing for us, because EIT is a level 2 provider.
Okay.
We will still invest in India. We have a gentleman based in Chennai, Gokul, who does a lot of work getting around to support our partners there. And again, I saw another point that you raised about Australian institutes cancelling COEs.
Correct, because there has been a lot of noise here. One particular news which was published like anything, that Australian institutes have cancelled the already issued offer letters and COEs. So where are we with them?
I could probably give you an example. A lot of providers, and I would say, ranging from universities, TAFEs, and also down to the private sector, saw an opportunity with using MOIs. When India letters. They can use a medium of instruction letter. However, I think certain areas of India, and they would be called high-risk areas, saw a better opportunity than others, and put through a lot of MOIs where students probably didn't meet the entry requirements for the English language level. And therefore, when the visa was given and the students got to start their course, then and only then did the providers realise that the students need an increase in English before they actually started their course, causing a delay of the commencement of the course, and therefore changing some of the figures around to Department of Home Affairs, who could see that that's not what they want. They want a student to have the right English levels up front. So I think, again, it was an opportunity that some providers took. There was nothing illegal about it. It is allowable, but you've got to also understand that a medium of instruction should be that the students got the English language level to commence the course as is, unless they are packaging with English. So going back to that point about cancelling COEs, when India went to level 3, it is my understanding that a lot of providers went back and looked at their current cohort applications, and where they saw this happening, they thought it would be better to withdraw the student and cancel the COE before it got to the end and a visa refusal was happened.
Right.
Or the visa came here, and then, as we know, there's a change coming into the marketplace where in-country changes will be now included in a provider's assessment level.
All right.
So I think they were just looking at both the current cohort and making sure that they had the right genuine students coming through, but also protecting their future assessments by having the students come here able to start the course and meeting, say, an English language level. I don't think it was, we don't want to work with that particular area, let's cancel all COEs. That is not what I've heard from my cohort of network in universities and TAFEs. I mean, we certainly do it. We don't accept an MOI. We want to see IELTS, TOEFL, PTE. It would be an extreme case that we would look at an MOI, and we would have to make sure that that student could start the course now based on what their English language level was.
Understood.
So I'm not, again, I know it's a watch and see with a lot of universities and TAFEs and providers now with India. So they're being a lot more critical on the applications that are coming through.
Right.
Which leads into a lot of where the providers should be anyway. Yeah, we are one. EIT is very strong in our GTE assessment. So let me take a step back. With our applications process, we're very lucky. We will get back to a partner within 48 hours based on a passport, an English language level, or intent that they're sitting their English shortly, and a copy of their academics. Based on that, we will then put together a conditional offer. And if the academics meet our entry-level requirements at that stage, and it doesn't have to be certified at that stage because this will only be a conditional offer, we will issue that within 48 hours, within reason, as long as we don't have a critical number of coming through.
Right.
But that's the DE stage. So we will get back to our partners within 48 hours with a conditional offer. And we know that that helps both you and the students start the process, the GTE process themselves, because they've got to go off and talk to family, get the finances organised. And then we start our GTE process with our partner, being somebody like you and your potential students. And that's where you come with your financials and your medicals, the biometrics, etc. We used to do every student used to do an interview. We've now taken that away, and we will now be doing spot interviews on a selected number of students that we choose, just to make sure we're looking at a range of students. And looking at their backgrounds. If we see a high-risk student in that, we will interview them. But what used to happen is every student that applied had to be interviewed, and it was a bit of a hiccup in our process. Well, we've decided to take that back a step and just do an as-need basis interview and target certain amounts.
All right. Rolf, from a student's perspective, all right, so I just want to understand with a very specific scenario, in context of EIT, what is the change in documentation which has come now post India being downgraded to level 3? For example, what I'm trying to understand is what documents were required when India was level 2, and now what additional documents would be required to be processed to EIT when India is level 3. So I want to understand that difference basically.
Okay. As you know, all providers have a level 1, 2 or 3 category. Previously, India was level 2. So if you were a level 1 provider or a level 2 provider, you were classified as streamlined. The student only needs, through their partner, to lodge the 4 documents based on Department of What Home Affairs required. And that would be a COE, English language level, if I remember correctly. And I've actually forgotten the other 2, but it was only 4 documents. But technically, the agent or the student had to have all the other documents in the background, because Home Affairs could ask for any one of those documents to make a decision on a visa. So by getting a level 2, you were entrusted with, you are only targeting genuine students.
I'm going to come in there, Sachin. From our perspective, nothing's changed from our processing. We still require all the same documents. It would just be you as the agent that now has to put in the additional documents when you apply for the visa. But in terms of where we stand, we still require the same documentation in terms of the financials, the academics,
and English.
Correct.
That's the point exactly what I'm, which I've been trying to understand. That, for example, if from an agency's point of view also, and also from a student's point of view, right? at our end, the agents, when they're entrusted to do GTE at their own end, they in any case have to collect all documents and verify them. For example, English, financials, right? So even if at a stage where India was level 2, right, all those documents were still required to be submitted to the parent institution, the admitting institution. And now also, post India going down to level 3, the same situation would happen, except for the fact that now those documents are required to be submitted to High Commission as well. So pretty much the process as far as submission of documentation is concerned is the same.
Correct. So again, we can't talk for any other providers, but from an EIT point of view, for whether you're a level 1 or a level 2 or a level 3 country, we have always wanted every document before we will issue a COE. And as you know, it's done in 2 stages, DE stage and then the GTE stage. Right. Now that India's gone to the level 3, as Caroline said, the application process requires every document that has to be put into that application. So not just 4 anymore, every document that is in the 27 pages of the application process must be lodged.
Fantastic. So I guess, this should allay a lot of fears of the students, which they've been looking on social media for the last couple of weeks, about conflicting news about whether they should apply to Australia, how would the High Commission look at their application, what documentation is required to be submitted in terms of financials and English for admission. I'm sure a lot of students who would watch this video would have a fair idea of what is going on and what they can expect when it comes to studying in Australia, right?
Sachin, if I could probably just add a couple more things in there.
Sure.
We're open for business. We know that there's a lot of really good engineering students in the Punjab.
Yep.
So we are open for business. We have scholarships. We've got a very good price point. And we are actively looking to work with our good, strong partners in identifying these students. Yes, it's fair to say some of the providers have acknowledged that they will be looking at less opportunities in certain areas of India. Mm-hmm. But we're not. We know that, like I said, we know there's some really good engineering colleges there.
There are
and we'd be happy to
fantastic, fabulous students who are looking to make a successful career in engineering field. So moving on, our next video would be about why should they study engineering in Australia? What are the career opportunities they can look at? What are the different streams they could study in Australia? What could they study with EIT? What does EIT offer in terms of programs and the career outcome? So that is what I've planned. We will put together this information package and share it with our students so that they can make a really informed choice on where and what would they study as far as engineering is concerned in Australia.
Okay, no, happy to do that with you. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Thank you for the opportunity.